tell me if this is right. Once you get into round 2 of the playoffs, you're on the every other day schedule, right?
I believe so.
Or close to it.
I believe so.
Maybe there's a double day off in there somewhere, but it's pretty much every other day.
I believe so.
Does that not mean that the Lakers would rather play them now than later? Because in the round 1, you do get multiple days off between games. You do get a little bit of a breather here and there. And watching them last night, I thought that the Lakers looked really tired. The Lakers looked really slow. The Lakers looked like they had their tongues hanging out a little bit, right? Just not quite that. Go 100 miles an hour, be super crisp, be able to run up and down all night long. And I get it. With LeBron as their guy, probably not going to be able to do that all that often just because he's in his 21st season. But, AD is a big guy and all these things. With a little bit extra built-in time, and I know that the Nuggets get it too, but I think the rest is more beneficial to L.A. than it is to Denver.
So this was maybe about a month ago or so, and this kind of made its rounds, but Nick Wright, who's part of Fox, kind of was making this argument of if there's a time to face the Denver Nuggets, face them early. And this was, Trav, this is kind of the main point of it. The main point is you're never going to get this much rest in between games as you get further into the playoffs. First off, I mean, the playoffs is going to be beneficial for the Lakers, period. You're going to travel less, right? I get to play the Denver Nuggets twice. I get to stay here.
Yeah.
You get the benefit of at least one night in between, potentially 2 nights in between. They're going to be playing 3 games in 4 nights. So
in 3 cities.
In 3 cities. But because there are so many games in the first round, and for TV, they want to highlight these games as much as they can, there's less games as you go. Less games that you go, less days off. There is a benefit to that. And I think yesterday is a good example of it. And you're right, Denver's going to get the rest as well. But who needs the rest more, LeBron James or Michael Porter Jr.? Probably LeBron.
There are times when, go back to, was it Sunday when they were playing the Pelicans, and LeBron is attacking the basket, and there's no answer. Like it felt a lot like what Zion was doing last night. It's like, okay, what do you want me to do with this? He's got a head of steam. He's either getting 2 or 3. He's either going to score. He's either going to score and get an and one, right, or you're going to foul him and he's going to make 2 free throws. Yeah. It's pick your poison. It did not feel like that last night.
No.
And I don't think that he can go and get into 5th gear whenever he wants the way that he used to. He's got to be very strategic. There were some times where he just kind of standing around last night. Mm-hmm. There were some times where he took some very early, and I would argue bad shots early in possessions, and it felt like I just need to take a breather.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say that because there's a lot of people who will be critical on Twitter or on whatever the case. Oh, what is LeBron doing? Why is he this? And sometimes I'm like, what do you want him to do you can't go 40, you can't play 40 minutes plus at age 39 and be perfect every time.
No.
Like you're not. You see 25-year-olds that aren't doing that. So I think there's a little bit of some overreaction. But go back to your original point. Now you're all of a sudden back to higher elevation in Denver.
That too.
That's not going to help either. The Denver Nuggets, that's obviously what they play in, so it's not going to mean anything to them. You got something that I think is kind of interesting when you go up against the Denver Nuggets. It's not just Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Nope.
They got perfect role players. I mean, the exact role players that you want to have, which is why I was mentioning a little bit earlier that if the Lakers' role players are not kind of matching toe for toe with the role players of the Denver Nuggets, then we'll see what eventually happens.
LeBron said this yesterday after they beat the Pels. It's the defending champion. They know what it takes. They know how to win. They've been extremely dominant on the home floor over the last few years. They've got an MVP on their team. They've got a closer on their team. They've got high-level players, high IQ players, and they've got a hell of a coach.
You can't compliment a team any more than that.
And find the lie in that. There isn't one. Right? You know what I mean? That's not – you guys remember Lou Holtz? Go Irish. That Lou Holtz?
Sure.
That – he would tell these ridiculous lies about the opponent. They'd be playing Navy, who'd be 0-10. Navy's got one of the best quarterbacks in college football. They can beat anybody. No, they can't. They could play you guys 150 times, and they'd lose 150 times.
We see that a lot. We said a lot in sports, right?
Yeah.
Where somebody's trying to compliment another team.
Everything
right,
LeBron said, there's nothing in there that's like, no, not really. That's exactly right. They're going to have to be so much better than they were last night. LeBron's got to be a lot better, which he can be. AD's got to be a lot better, a lot fresher. AD looked like he was the Tin Man. He was stiff, and he didn't look like AD at all. Numbers were not good. They weren't dreadful, but
That's a little,
Nothing
by
like
the
what
way,
he's done.
That's concerning going into a series like you got coming up, right? If he's feeling something, that's concerning right out the gate.
How about this?